Alexander is my name.
Top of the morning to you. My name is Omar. Welcome, PPRO. Welcome, CP.
And of course, talking about our guests in the studio, you had her 2 weeks ago. We had an amazing time here, and she's joining us again today. SP Grace Iringe Koko. She is the police PRO here in Rivers State. Thank you, Grace, for joining us today. Thank you.
Thank you.
We appreciate your time. Of course, I don't know if it's allowed to be used where you say the big fish is here. Okay, so, but we want to say thank you to the Commissioner of Police, Rivers State. He's here. Commissioner, thank you. You are really welcomed here. He is the Commissioner of Police, talking about Okon, CP Okon, Effiong Okon, PSC, FDC, and I actually asked before you came in, what is PSC? And they said this police college. Please school us. I want to know. I don't know this before. So what is PSC? What is FDC?
Thank you very much for having me. If you see it's PSC bracket plus, or we call it PSC dagger, that means I've attended minimum of 2 command courses at the Police Staff College, JOS. When you do that, you have a PSC. A dagger means I have been a directing staff or a lecturer in that school.
Wow.
Now, the FDC means I have attended the National Defense College, so I am a fellow of the Defense College.
Wow, interesting. You know, when we hear dagger, our mind will just go to, the knife. We never knew that it's actually very different. Okay, so we would ask you a few questions, and then people would join the conversation. Please ask questions, because town hall meetings like this don't always come every day. So use this opportunity to ask questions. What are the things you want to hear from the CP? What are the things you want the CP to know? What are the things that you want to bring to the notice of the CP? Do well to ask questions. So you can join us on Facebook. We'll be streaming live soon at Classic FM 911. So head on there. We're streaming live already. So head on there and join in. You can also join via WhatsApp. It is 07044994911. And join via WhatsApp. So before my colleague would get to ask you a question, I want to ask you this quickly. Before you came into Rivers State, way before you know you will work in Rivers State, what was the thought, or what were the things you heard about Rivers State way before you ever knew you will work in Rivers State?
Thank you. I heard that Rivers State is a very difficult place to work in, and that the crime rate is exceptionally high, and that a few persons are friendly, but you have more of unfriendly friends in Rivers State.
Has that been the case since you came in? Matching your thoughts and what you've seen thus far, is that the case?
Well, that was the mindset I came with, and interestingly, that defined the strategies I needed to adopt to succeed.
Oh.
So as soon as I arrived and in place the strategies I felt that were best for the environment, I've been having results, and I can say without fear of contradiction that Rivers State today is one of the most peaceful in terms of crime rate in state in the southeast and south, if not the entire southern Nigeria.
It's great to actually give you an applause for that.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so CP, thank you for coming. So it's on this background that I'd like to ask generally, what is your assessment of the security situation now that you're here? Contrary to what you said you heard in the first place, what is the security situation currently in Rivers State? I'd like to cast your mind back to the most recent ones, which is the kidnap of a 10-year-old Chisom around Eneka Access, who is yet to be found. Rejoice, who thankfully was found in Owerri, she was 21 years. and other recent cases now of young kidnaps. So generally in Rivers State, what would you say is the security situation? What is it like?
Security, we are on top of the game in the state. One, there is no society that is absolutely crime-free. There is none the world over. But what we have done and what we are still doing is to make sure that we reduce the incidence of crime and criminality to its barest minimum. So if there are cases of, yes, there are cases of kidnapping, but they are very isolated cases. And we've had them. Remember sometime last year, towards the Xmas period, I came on air and said I was going to lock up the town, right? Most people misconstrued me and the intentions behind locking the town. But we went ahead and locked down the town. And when we did that, number one, the first thing we achieved was that movement outside of this town was slowed down. And that was deliberate to ensure that in case there is an incident of car snatch, car theft, or kidnapping, the people will not be able to easily drive out of town. And so what that now translated meant was people will snatch a vehicle, and they will hover around and round and round Port-Harcourt and unable to go out, and they will drop it. And that is why in recent times, about 70% or 80%, comfortably I can say, of cars that are snatched or taken from where parked are recovered almost 48 hours maximum. There are instances where they will snatch or steal them, but car snatching is almost reduced to nothing, right? But removing car from where parked, when they remove them like that, what we simply do is that just go around the hotels the next day. We've been able to locate, some of them will remove, the next day they are found. And that we are still working. They are still working. So now people are kidnapped, right? Like that other baby that was kidnapped, they couldn't drive out of town. They had to abandon the child. Some are kidnapped, and hours or minutes after they are kidnapped, they are rescued. So, but then there are one or two cases that have not been resolved. Yeah. But I am confident that we are still working. So it becomes easier. I will not tell you the strategy we are using, but it becomes easier when someone is kidnapped and a contact is first made. Right? If a contact is made, it becomes very easy for us to resolve. We've resolved a lot of kidnap cases within the period, very many. We've arrested a lot of kidnappers within the period, very many. So, but the fact that we are arresting does not mean that there will not be one or two isolated cases of kidnapping. But when they do, we are confident that with what we have in place out there, we should be able to reasonably resolve all of these cases.
So in your words, to some extent, security situation in this state has been curtailed? To some extent, in your words?
To a very significant extent.
Okay.
To a very significant extent, we can talk of security in this town.
Okay. Let's get into the questions that people are sending already. And you can join the conversation, get to ask the CP questions, because just like I said earlier, it's not about us. It's not about Alexander. It's not about Omar. It's about you out there. We want you to use this opportunity, speak with the CP, tell the CP, tell the PRO what you think is happening, because they cannot be everywhere. They want to also hear from you. Okay, join us via WhatsApp, join us on Twitter, watch us live on Facebook at Classic FM 911, Classic FM 911. Call the phone lines, but please keep it 30 seconds, because we might have so much calls. Keep it 30 seconds, okay, so that we could hear what you have to say. Let's start with this question that is on Twitter. This one came so many hours, about 23 hours ago. So this is on Twitter.
Aka Onoa says, why is River State Police Command quick to speak in defense in event of breach of rights? Example, former PPRO said that China Ikunado of Ikoko 4 died of high sugar in the blood, but autopsy said he died of torture. Some trend happened at APC State Rally at Ojuko Field. Same trend happened at APC State.
in this era, we should be doing investigative journalism. So balance your stories. So when you balance your story and report what it is, if we're at fault, we accept, take responsibilities. I don't shy away from responsibilities, right? I don't shy away from it. So when people say things that are not right, we need to correct them. The former PRO, well, I cannot say for sure what happened then because I was not around. But now, talking about the APC rally, for example, first and foremost, before every party goes out there to campaign, we have told them consistently, furnish us or avail us with your schedule of campaigns. And the essence of it is so that we know how to deploy our people. You know, the number of persons campaigning at a time and what is the strength of the police. We cannot deploy everybody to campaign grounds. Otherwise, criminals will have a field day. So when we know your schedule, two things will happen. It will enable us to deploy reasonably, one. Two, it will prevent a situation where two parties are campaigning in the same place per time. So when that is done, we provide security. The fact that we provide security does not in itself totally erase the possibility of clashes between supporters. But one thing that is obvious is this. In every situation where there has been a crisis, the police has been able to manage this crisis very, very well. Okay, now you can think of it. The campaigns have been on for a very long time. How many people have been hospitalized as a result of the campaign rallies? How many houses have been burnt as a result of campaign rallies? Have there been clashes between supporters? Yes, we can't stop that. But if there are crises, as a responsible agency, we make sure that we intervene and quickly resolve the matter.
Yes.
Now, a few days ago, one of the parties applied, informed us that there was going to be a campaign rally in a community, right? And dutifully, we provided the security. But before the campaign, for 24 hours before the campaign, the community has two factional leaders, right? And the party applied to the CDC chairman, he unpaid the prescribed fee. The CDC chairman went, shared the money amongst the faction he feels should be the recognized faction. The other faction was aggrieved, wrote a letter of protest to us that they would never allow that campaigns to go on in that community. Very early as 6:30, the Deputy Commissioner of Police himself was on ground. And we had told our officer in charge of SIB, Intelligence Bureau, please invite them, let us try to see if we can resolve them before the rally time. But incidentally, the other faction went and occupied the hall that was meant for that rally. And so they prevented, when the party now came, they prevented the party from coming. They said, now the party will not enter until they had a fair share of their money. And they dragged on for a long, more than 45 minutes they dragged on. And eventually, I think somebody now paid the other faction and they now allowed them to enter. Okay, now, these are two factions fighting or struggling over a facility. What was police supposed to do? Break the door, break the other one? If you break the door, the other people will say you are partisan. If you stop this order, if you don't do anything, the other people will say partisan. So all you need to do is to mediate peacefully. Yeah. And the police dutifully did that until eventually, I spoke with the party chairman in the state, and he told me they are not allowing them access to use the hall. I said, okay, fine. What do you do? They say they want to use the road. I said, okay, fine. If you want to use the road, go ahead. But as long as you have security on ground, but make sure you clear part of the road so that vehicles can still move. Right? Because everybody has the right to
use the road.
So use it, but make a lane open for them. And that was, but eventually, when the matter was resolved, they went in for the campaigns. The campaigns was held. At the end of the campaigns, everybody went back to his house. The chairman called me and said, thank you very much. I think we're able to do it. I said, okay, fine. And a few hours later, a photograph went viral. A blast in APC rally. And then I begin to ask. And everybody was blaming the police. Blast. And then I begin to ask, do we know what is a rally, a political rally? That a lot of people will be gathered together. Is it possible to have a bomb blast in a rally? And number one, only 2 persons are injured. Number 2, is it possible to have a blast in a gathering and there is no stampede? Because if you throw even an ordinary knockout, everybody was be running for safety. So why was there no stampede? But the incident, importantly, the incident happened, if it was happened, what they are saying even happened after, because as far as I'm concerned, as far as the police is concerned, the rally was held and it ended peacefully. What happened thereafter was not the police responsibility. And subsequently, they showed a picture of people fire burning in a garage. You could see some tires somewhere. And I began to wonder, say, the rally was not held in a garage. So why they show the picture of a blast in a garage or fire burning? A few days after, another video went viral. River State was on fire, was very insecure that Hausa people in the River State are being killed. And you begin to wonder where. So if people the public, innocent public are fed with those stories and we are not quick to react, everybody will believe the fake stories that tell them. So that is why most times we react to let people know the true position. But when something happens, when you report rightly, I don't have any complaint with that. I don't have any problem with that. Report. That is why you are paid and what you are paid to do. Report as honestly and constructively as possible.
Let's get reactions now. Loads of reactions actually coming in.
And let me even forget.
Yes.
Is it possible to have a blast victim? I thought I could answer them as they come.
Good morning.
Maybe after this one now. Great having you. Good morning.
Yes, good morning, sir.
Yes, please go ahead.
Yes, my name is J.A.J. and I'm calling you from Port-Harcourt right now.
Go ahead, J.A.J.
I must say I commend you. I don't even jealous you 1 second. But there's a case that has been on since December last year. A man who a judge also alleged that brought thieves to his house to pick all his things. At December, the man was detained in Rumokoro. The wife alleged that his head was turned upside down and he was being tortured.
Okay, quickly.
And suddenly, he has been taken to state CID and the torture continued. Why the human rights abuse, sir?
Okay.
The man's name is Success. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so much. Do you want to react?
Yes.
Okay.
But let me start with the last question. I'm a defender of human rights. And so, nobody is being tortured anywhere. Nobody. He may have been detained, or somebody may have been detained. But for the case to be transferred from a division to the CID means the other case is a serious one. Otherwise, the CID are only concerned with serious cases. So, if the person, or if he feels that somebody's right, fundamental human rights has been abased, all he needs to do is to come to me and let's look at call for the case and begin to find out. But I'm sure. But every day, every morning, the DCCID goes to the cell, make sure that everybody is in good health. And of course, if the matter has already been established, what would be the need for torture again? Nothing. We don't even torture, we interrogate. So the use of torture is strange to me, really. It's really strange.
Have you ever heard it that your men have actually tortured people in River State? Okay, now you just resumed. So we wouldn't say, because it might have been happening before you came. But now that you're here, has any case like that been brought to you?
Nobody has complained of torture before, because I keep insisting that the rights of suspects must be respected to the extent that they remain suspects.
Okay, the next...
So what is the next one again?
Level playing ground for all political parties.
Now, the first thing we have to note in level playing ground is this. Everybody, I've told them, everybody, first we invited all the political leaders, all the candidates to a peace meeting. and ensure that they all sign a peace accord. And we reminded that they must respect the content of what they have signed, the accord they have signed. 2, we have told everyone, when you are going for campaigns, give us your schedule. There is no one, I stand to be contradicted, who has applied for police security that I have not given him. Now, for people to go to social media, that is why I say that this falsehood must be challenged. Yesterday, I spoke with a leader or a Guba candidate of a party. 2 days ago, I spoke with another party. In fact, somebody even told me that he was attacked somebody called from Abuja that their candidate was attacked in Igboeche, right? And when he was attacked, the police did nothing. And I allowed him to finish all. When he finished, I said, the person you are complaining of spoke with me some few hours ago. And he thanked me he said I should thank the DPO, and now you are here vilifying the DPO. I said, that is not fair. At the end, the man told me that was what he was told. I said, you should be a responsible human being. You are told something, do you find out? In fact, he told me that man was in hospital. I said, the man I just spoke with is in hospital. I said, which hospital? He couldn't say. Now, I'm a commissioner of police. Must I close my door against anybody? No. Even those, there's nobody who is contesting election in the party that doesn't have security guards.
Okay, so let's get to some more questions. This one is just a report. It says, for 2 consecutive nights, people at Elechi Beach axis haven't slept with their eyes closed. So please, let's put it down. Elechi Beach, it's important for something to be done there. They need intervention. Chuka in Owerri.
Okay, now let me point out.
Okay.
Now, they have not been. He said if they complain of not being able to sleep, my one DPO right now is on top of the situation because 2 court groups are fighting.
In Elechi Beach?
Yes, 2 court groups are fighting. So, and you agree with me, or I don't know if you will agree with me, that one of the greatest problems we have in Rivers State is courtism. And that is why some few days ago I had to summon all the youth leadership across the state. And I told them 3 things. I said, number 1, we must consciously shun courtism because it's killing the society. 2, we must agree to partake in an election that is devoid of violence and torture. And 4, we must commit to ensure that Rivers State is able to move forward. So the greatest problem now is courtism, and it has permeated even to primary schools. So everywhere they fight, most 70 or 85% of the fight are court-related fights. So the DPO there is dealing with the situation.
About the courtism, I was going to pose that question across, to curtail this or to nip it on the bud. What are the procedures? But yes, I know you would not want to tell us every step of the way, but to what extent have you been able to curtail it? Like you mentioned, our secondary schools now, we cannot vouch for what is going on there. But before you answer that question, Wayme says, may I use this single opportunity to appreciate the CP for displaying professionalism in the discharge of his duties. My question is this: in the event of internal political wranglings, what role should the police play in such circumstances?
Simple. The police is apolitical. We are non-partisan. The Inspector General of Police, IGP Usman Akali Baba, has stated severally that we must be neutral in the process. So if a party has an internal crisis, for as long as it does not affect the entire society, we can't delve into party politics.
Because of time, we just need to merge these questions quickly. This one is from Michael. Michael says, what is the River State Command doing to stop completely theft of cars? You've said something about that. But they said in front of the High Court complex. I don't know if there's anything that would be about it.
Now, we've had that report. So 2 things we are doing. Number 1, we said we are going to introduce card system to enter that premises. So when vehicles enter, they are giving cards at the point of entry. So except and until you have that card, you cannot exit.
Okay.
And we are going to make that one a one-way. We are discussing with the judiciary to see how expedient and visible that will be, so that you enter from a particular way and every car must go out from another way. So when you pick your card when you leave in your vehicle, you leave with your card, with your tag. So if at the point of exit you don't have a tag, you can't leave with the vehicle. That's one thing we've done. Secondly, we are in the process of computerizing all the vehicles in the state. Yes, computerizing all the vehicles in the state.
Both commercial and
by every vehicle, I mean every vehicle.
Okay.
So that state. In the state.
Is that a long-term plan? Or
no, by the next week it will start. It will get started.
Oh, really?
What do you mean by computerize?
We'll profile every vehicle and store in our system. And so when we store the vehicles in the profiles or details of vehicles in our system, it will be possible at every point in time to know the location of every vehicle in the state.
Interesting. Because of time, tinted glass, which has been stopped? Is it the issue or banned? Is it the issuance of the tint permit rather, or the tint glass? Which is the situation here?
Now, there has been this directive. You know, when you talk of tinted glasses, there are two types. There are the ones that are factory fitted, and there is nothing we can do to stop that. But there's one that is artificial. You go to the market and buy tinted paper and close the vehicle. That is not right enough. And so we do not check that, concern ourselves with checking tinted glasses. But when it becomes an issue, if it's not a factory fitted glass, the user of that vehicle may have some questions to answer when it becomes an issue.
Okay. Quickly, this one also said session of phones. Stop and search operations, is it proper? You can just answer these questions yes or no, so that
no. The ages.
Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Thank you so much for calling. What's your name, please? Where are you calling from? All right, please go ahead.
Sorry, but good morning, sir.
Yes, go ahead.
You see, I heard that you directed all vigilantes to drop their weapons. What weapon were you using in your job?
Okay.
All right. That's all right, we can take it from there. CP, did you hear?
I didn't hear that.
Okay, he said that he heard that you directed all vigilantes to drop their weapons. So he's asking, what are they supposed to use in the course of duty?
Well, that should not be an issue for public discussion for obvious reasons. But if we have to stop them from using arms, it must be for the good of the state.
Okay.
Because one, we do not want unauthorized persons to be in possession of arms because of the elections.
Okay. Quickly.
So is it like after the elections they will be authorized? Because if you say because of the election, so is it like
especially because of the elections?
So after the elections,
but I have said it is a security issue that does not need to be discussed publicly.
Okay. This one says appreciating you, saying checkpoints. I will just bring these ones. It just said checkpoints concerning concentration of deaths of your men collecting money from commuters. And this one also says, please ask, talking about Kala police station, are they mandated to stand at their station every night? That they are harassing public transporters. This one says extortion in front of Borokiri police station. Also spoke about the PRO promise talking to the policemen extorting in Borokiri police station in front. Commuters being collected money from. They also spoke about Kala police station, that the men there are harassing commuters, and of course somebody is also talking about this Borokiri police station. The statement came 2 weeks ago. It's coming again.
Okay. Now the last time I had an opportunity to explain to people, I gave them two numbers. I can't remember too well. That in case people have issues with the policemen at checkpoints, that they should immediately call these numbers. Now we have the CP, what we call the CP monitoring unit, whose responsibility is to make sure that standards are adhered to. We have the escort that equally does the same thing, and 95% of the cases of escort are against serving members. So, and what do they do? Check the level, go to divisions and ensure that standards, rules are adhered to strictly. So when they have those issues, all they need to do is to call those numbers. But in the last 2 weeks, following the complaint of some people, we have arrested about 25 policemen.
Wow.
25. So we have an internal mechanism that deals with cases of corruption. Nobody is sent. Yes, is it right to send policemen to stand at the gates in front of? Yes. I give that instruction. I say everybody must come out, because what is important is what is called visibility policing. So everybody must come out. Come out of your office, stand outside, protect and secure your environment. Then the second question is, is it right to collect money? No, it's not right. It's not. And we're going around. Yesterday I went about 3 or 4 divisions, about 3 area commands rather. And one of the things I told them, said, look, we will not tolerate the cases of corruption. I don't tolerate it at all. I don't tolerate it at all.
Okay.
So now, let me quickly say about that vigilante. See, now the rule for the deployment of vigilante in communities is very simple. The rule is simply this, that vigilante organizations don't operate in isolation. They must liaise with their DPOs. So in every operation they are embarking on, at least there must be minimum 2 policemen in their midst. Minimum 2 policemen. Minimum 2 policemen. I told them yesterday when at Oyibo, I said, we will never allow a situation where vigilante will arrest and detain. That is not acceptable. Yes, you arrest, but hand over to the police immediately.
Okay, so we'll take more questions. First off is, this person is asking you to address the issue of corruption in the police force on ending roadblocks at the Ogoni East-West Road by men of the police force collecting 100 naira. As much as you've tried saying it, I'm going to just be a concerned citizen, and I'll look forward to more implementation, because up until last night, some of us Nigerians still see these things going on. But if you're telling us that arrest has started, so we'll just hold on to your word and hope that very soon it gets to some of the locations where it has not stopped. This person is also asking you, what is police clearance? What is the essence? Who should have it? And another person is asking, what are you doing to ensure that those killed by police illegally are compensated? And lastly, what are you doing to ensure the Bonny Sea is safe for travelers?
How many questions?
Three.
Okay, so just take them one by one so that I can. Police clearance. What is police clearance? Mm-hmm. Police clearance in what way? We have certificate clearance. We have different type of clearance. So, which one are we referring to?
So maybe you should explain the both of them just for our listeners' sake.
Now, if you want to travel outside the shores of Nigeria, you need a police clearance certificate called a character certificate. Okay. And that means the police will certify that you have not been a criminal, you've not been dogged, you've not been convicted. That is certificate clearance. Then when we talk of which has even been discouraged, the tinted permit clearance. That is to ensure that those, like when it was enforced, really, it was those who are using tinted permit are authorized to use those permits.
Okay, I'm sorry to cut you short. The listener just responded, the police clearance for vehicles.
Do they have anything like that? Police clearance for vehicle?
That has been stopped.
I'm sorry, sir.
Let me land. I don't know. Let me just land. That there is a department in the police that is called CMR, Central Motor Registry, and the essence of it is that all the vehicles, that's what we're trying to do in Rivers State right now, all the vehicles that come into the country must be registered. But because most of the vehicles don't come in through the normal ways, they are able to circumvent that process, and that is why they sometimes will ask, where is the clearance, vehicle clearance? But there's a department headed by a commissioner of police in Alagbon Close, Lagos, that is called Central Motor Registry.
Okay.
So the clearance they seek is like the custom clearance. whether you pay the dues, you pay the custom dues for importation or whatever, the police can, whether the vehicle has been profiled. If Nigerians can subject them to that process, it means from the moment you buy a vehicle, the police knows that this vehicle is bought and is bought by so person, and this vehicle is so place, and it becomes a lot easier. So that when people now, outside the unauthorized person now begin to have access to those vehicles, it will be very easy to know. But the process has been circumvented at the national level, and that is why we in the state, working with the Ministry of Transport, are engaging on it now. Like I told you, the next 1 week we're starting.
Interestingly, hold on,
I'm sorry, because it happened to me at my one, and I was also asked for police clearance. So they said because my car was registered in Yenegoa, if it's coming into Port-Harcourt, I have to get another police clearance to be able to use that car. So that's why I'm thinking I'm relating with the question here.
No, that is not the procedure.
Okay, because just to agree with you, this person has said that this was demanded by the police, saying that the car registered in Lagos must have it. You know, so it means that as long as it's imported into the country and coming through Lagos, it should have it. Okay, and what are you doing?
When he said people are killing, police are killing.
No. Those that has actually been killed.
I'm not aware of anyone that has been killed illegally or innocently. I'm not aware.
Okay. For corruption in the force, what are you doing about it? You've said that some persons have been arrested. Is there any extra that you're doing about it?
To put the checks.
Okay. Quick one because there are so many messages. Let's see how much we can actually also take. This one speaks about extortion. Of course, in Burukiri, you have spoken about it. Harry is saying, please, when the police supposed to stop a driver and do...
There was a report that there was going to be a massive movement of these elements into Rivers State. What did we do? We had gone to that area, reassessed what we had, and started merging together some of those points so that at every point you have a robust team, right, that can contain any attack. Now, secondly, we call it discover that the cases of kidnapping on those axes have been very high. So the only way you can minimize those cases of those incidences is what? To make sure that at every 100 or 200 meters we keep a police team, so that they can easily respond to those cases. And that is why if you check comparatively, along those places we have those checkpoints, there's not be any record of, or minimal record of kidnapping on those roads. What is important now, the same thing is going to apply to Ogoni. We are going to Ogoni Road, we are going to mesh some of the points, but what is important now is for us to ensure that a proper machinery or process is put in place that will completely eradicate corruptions at those checkpoints. They are not supposed to be toll gates. They are supposed to be checkpoints where we make sure that vehicles are checked, or sometimes are checked based on reports we receive. Now we say, when can vehicle be stopped easily on the road? One easiest way vehicle be stopped is when there's a case of a Corolla vehicle, black color, has been taken from where parked, and the color is this. As soon as the message is received in our control room, it goes out simultaneously to all the fields, to all the points at the field. Now, they'll begin to be on the lookout for Corolla vehicles. So, at that point, every Corolla vehicle that is black must be stopped.
Okay.
So, that is one of those things that will stop vehicles very easily.
Okay. Vehicles, papers. When you were stopped by a police officer and you're asked, what are the papers you should have?
Now, first and foremost, you don't need to go with the originals of your papers, right? But go with the photocopy of your paper. One, who is the owner of the vehicle? Most importantly, who is the owner of the vehicle? Secondly, the person who is using the vehicle at that point, is he qualified to drive that vehicle? It is not for us to begin to look for, maybe sometimes people just go out of their way, but it's not for us to begin to look for, where's their documentation paper? Is it expired? That is what the traffic department does. That is what VIO does. But essentially, the police want to know who owns a particular vehicle. And if it becomes at the point of entry, sometimes they will ask you what is the clearance certificate. Otherwise, who is the owner? Where's the driving license? So 3 basic things.
Okay. Also, they just brought forward some statements about Mile 1, education access, Rumola bus stops, talking about extortion in terms of collecting money there. Somebody also spoke about, of course, you've spoken about the elections and what happened at these different locations in terms of the attacks, because they brought forward the attack on Lee Maybar's house. They also spoke about...
No, that Lee Maybar's house case have been... trashed out long time ago, so I wouldn't want to visit that again.
Okay, then Dumo Lulu Briggs, what happened in Eche, and
now Dumo is my friend. I wish my phone was around. I would have shown you the communication between I and Dumo, right? I told him, congratulations, you are contesting an election, but he has a team of security with him already right now. He has a team of security rather than with him. But I told him, when you are going out on campaigns, please let us know so we are prepared adequately for what you are done going for. When that incident happened at Ibueche, right, he sent me a message and I told him again, please, in case, like I've told you before, why not tell us of when you are going out on campaigns so that we can't be everywhere. That is the truth.
So he did not inform the police?
We didn't. That was officially like going to there for the campaign. There was nothing like that. So maybe somebody can get my phone so I can show you. It's in my phone. So I tell you, when you are going out, please let us know so that we will be able to prepare ahead. That's the same thing we've told all the parties. Let us have a campaign timetable so that we can always deploy to where we cannot adequately deploy to all the communities. It's not possible. So where you are going to somewhere, please let us know so that we can deploy some people to that place. And I promise somebody was mentioned as the mastermind of that attack on Dumo Briggs. And I've told the DPO that the next 48 hours I must see the people that are involved. So we'll take it up from there.
Sirens. We still hear sirens across. It's one of the questions that has been asked.
The use of siren is not allowed. The use of siren is not allowed. Only very few persons are permitted to use siren. But somehow, I don't know how you look at it, largely, lawlessness is becoming almost fashionable in Nigeria. A few days ago, I spoke to a group of people. I said, why is it that when we are in Nigeria, we break rules with reckless abandon? But the moment we cross to Ghana, we align ourselves with the rules. Why? These things are not necessary. They should not be allowed. But the most important thing, I would have even said, okay, begin to arrest them. But the moment we begin to do that, you know what will happen? They said because we are supporting one political party. Because most of the people who are using siren now are politicians. 90% of those who are using siren now are politicians. The moment we pick one, they say the question of police is passion. So that is the inconvenience we have to live with in as bad as it is. So that people do not say the police is partisan. That people will not say the police is supporting one party and the rest. So,
but with the situation, we're handicapped here, but we look forward to getting better. That's what your statement sounds like? Because
no.
Sometimes when we see these sirens pass, we see police officers who are on duty. They even clear the pathway because they are on sirens. They clear the pathway and make them pass on time. So that sounds like you're handicapped here, sir.
No, we are not handicapped.
Please explain further.
I've said that already.
That you look forward to getting it right, but in the meantime, we should just live with it?
Let me ask the question. Will you not be one of the persons who will complain that I am arresting a politician?
I probably would never do that.
Okay. So, but we are not handicapped. We have the capacity and the capability to deal with that situation, and we'll deal with it at on terms.
Is bail free?
Very free.
People sent messages now.
Bail is very, very free. Very, very free.
Is there mobilization fee?
I don't know about it.
Mobilization fee. Someone asked if I call that there's something happening or I try to make a report, am I supposed to pay or fuel the vehicle?
You are not supposed to pay for anything. You don't pay for people to attend to you. You don't pay when you want to get out of the police cell. Bail is absolutely free. But if peradventure anybody is asked to pay, report to the head of the place.
Is there SARS in Rivers State?
There's no SARS. Not even in Nigeria.
People are saying, someone just said, most of the questions I've gotten here happens to be related to SARS. Is there still SARS?
Where is SARS? Where's the location?
Okay. What is the work? And saying people are moving around like that. Most of the messages also are commending you. Truly, they are saying that they love the stance you're taking in River State, and you're not trying to compromise yourself, and you should stand that way. So I'm just trying to merge these messages. Let's get to the phone lines. We're actually out of time. We're supposed to have ended 11, but let's see if we could maybe squeeze in a few calls. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Okay, try and call back if you can. A few days ago, talking about cultism in Andoni Street, Waterfront, Borokiri, you also spoke about it. So please note down the place, Andoni Street, Waterfront, Borokiri. Okay, this one sent a voice note. Maybe later we can forward it to Grace. The security situation in Eleme Junction is nothing to write home about. Please, Eleme Junction. Someone is reporting Eleme Junction. Mile 1 Police Station, Borokiri Police Station, Oluwabasanjo, Rumokoro, Miniokoro, Choba. The above police stations needs to be checkmated due to dubious extortions going on there. So, from me, we've not had enough time, and I know you would agree, because the messages we have here are way more than we can actually take. We have calls. If you look at it, we just took about 3 or 4 calls because we also want to hear you speak. I want to request live on radio. I know it's a big one to call for. Is it possible to have a town hall? When I say town hall, physical town hall, where maybe a hall could be gotten and people could send messages and be invited to come, and they could interact with you one-on-one.
Yeah, we've already started doing that.
Great.
Now, a few days, I think last week or sometime last week, I met with the youth executive from across the state.
This one public?
Yes, it was public.
No, we're talking about people that are not youth executives.
Let me finish. Now, that meeting will be taken to the senatorial districts, the 3. In the next few days, we'll be meeting with the traditional rulers in the state. After that, we'll be meeting with the women in the state. In the police itself, we've equally introduced this town hall meeting, which will be virtual anyway for the police, so that at every point, it is important that at least once every month, I speak with every member of the police force in Rivers State, remind them of their duties, remind them of what they're supposed to do, and remind them of what they're not supposed to do. So if we can accommodate a larger forum, but that will be after I've met with the traditional rulers and I've met with the women, then we cannot have another person. Or maybe men should even protest that yes, you are meeting with you have met with the youth. You meet the traditional ruler. Then if you meet with the women, you should equally meet with the men.
So at least to have a balanced ground.
Yes.
Okay.
But I'm sure you will do that.
Okay, please, because it will be great to have you interact with these people more. I believe that if we want to speak our minds here, and there's a lot of notion about the police because we are about leaving, I'm not holding brief for you because I will not hold brief for the police. But I will say that in every system, there is corruption. But as much as we work towards it to make it better, it will get better. We want to see a better policing in Nigeria. We want to see a better police force in Rivers State. We want Rivers State Police Command. We want to build that trust, and we want to build a relationship and friendship. I could remember someone said on radio some months back or some years ago here on air, and said that while he was traveling, I think he came to Rivers State for the first time. He said the person he walked up to help him was the police. But these days, people are scared of walking up to the police. The news is up next, but before then, what would you say to Rivers people?
Rivers, you have all the resources to make this state a great state. You need peace, you need security. We must deliberately purge ourselves with tendencies of perpetuating violence in the state, because insecurity and violence will stall development. As an organization, the police is committed to ensuring that our environment is safe. Now, in case that there is need, anybody has a need to call the police as a response number, maybe we'll take these numbers down if you don't mind.
Okay, response number. Please take this number down, please. If you have your pen and paper, please do take the number.
So where you see the police misbehaving in court, you can just call immediately and you'll be attended to. 080 9888 0134. The second line 080 3200 3514. Or you can even reach the PRO on 090 142 73818.
Okay, I would call those numbers quickly. You can reach out to the PRO 090 142 73818. 090 142 73818. Reach out to the PRO, make your reports as much as you can. Now, if you find erring police officers, those two numbers earlier called, reach out to them. I will call the numbers again. 080 9888, that's 888 9888 0134. And you can also call 080 3200 3514. Call those numbers. Errant police officers, call those numbers that we just called. The other number, reach out to the PRO of police. So we had the PRO of police, Gracie Ringekoko, SP Gracie Ringekoko. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Alex.
We want to say thank you also to CP Okon, Effiong Okon. Thank you for making our time to come in. It's a busy schedule for yours, but you did come in. Thank you so much. We appreciate.
Thank you very much for having me.
Bossing Day. We did not hear your voice, but thank you so much. Thank you, Bossing Day. It's